Welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Now, this episode 21 of this silly rat trailer project. Today I've just decided, thinking over the last few days, about some slightly gothic decoration and also some practical changes to the trailer. Been looking at trailers as I see them around, and I drive around all day in my job, and I see trailers have often got this kind of goalpost effect thing, like a frame on the front to lay sort of ladders or broomsticks or mowers or whatever you might lay on it, so they're not just flat, they have got this thing that goes up the front like a frame. So I think I kind of need one of those. It just might come in handy. Also, it gives me somewhere to mount some of the decoration I've got in mind, which is going to be a bit cool. And also it needs to be detachable, because the idea of putting the back bumper bars on in the last episode was that I can stand the thing up against the wall. So if it's got this big H-frame sticking out, it's not going to go there. So it needs to be removable, so I can take it out and then stack it all away when I'm not using it, such as the constraints of a little tiny garage like this. So there we go, that's it for today. It's to grind off a little bit of the primer again and weld on some brackets and mount like a frame, an H-frame thing with some sort of design on the top. It's here, but I can't kind of put it across in words, but you'll see as it unfolds. So stick around, stay tuned, and let's see how it goes. Right, the plan is, like I said, you see quite often a frame on the front of a trailer coming up higher. In fact, this had one when we got this. It had like a bedstead, if you like a headboard of a bed, if you wish, going across there. So I need to bring kind of one piece. Got some of this tubing, which I made the frame of doom over there, which bolts to the bike to tow this thing. What I think I need to do is somehow weldify that onto there in a strong manner. I think what it needs is a quarter cut out sort of thing that slots over, and that will be like a socket, and then something a bit lighter, so I make a frame across. This is kind of make it up as I go, really. You know me, I don't get too involved in plans. I certainly don't write anything down, I just cut it up, make it as it goes. I've got a cut down there in a quarter, so I'm going to cut a quarter of that out, effectively probably about, I don't know, half its height, don't know. Let's have a little think, little plan, little head scratch. And that's the idea, to make a frame that goes across there, which will then give me something to stand things on and to put some daft decorification on. Let's see what happens. Right, I had a head scratch and a little play with some scrap, and this is the idea. So check that out. That's kind of a quarter. You sort of look at that, cutting out a quarter chunk of that, as it were, and then that will now kind of weld there. And the idea is that that will just tack on. I just tack that down there, which is reasonably straightforward, and I'm left with a nice upright. Now it has to be removable, so I've got a cunning plan for that, and I just need to work out where I cut that off in a minute. So that's the first bit. I like that. It's going to tidy that up and show you how to do that. Just do a third. So I'm just going to get another bit of scrap and do another one. Right, simplest way to do this. Poke it in the vise. Select some tape, just for the purposes of drawing upon. You could use narrower tape if you have some. First, draw a straight line. Easier said than done. We're drawing as a tube. Want it about the same height as this one for symmetry. So that'll do to there. Cut that line first. Right, I'm going to refer to the old disc. Because a hacksaw simply won't do it. So let's disc it up. One of you guys said the other day, never seen a disc, diamond disc used on metal before, and they're not supposed to be, they're meant to be for concrete, but hey, you've seen it working right here on Delboy's Garage. Use what you have. Right, so stick it down here. Now, here's the last one. There's the other end. Right. So that's the first one. That's the second one. There we are. That's it. About the same. So, as you can see, Penny Pitstop's not here for filmage today. So there we are. That one goes on there as well. So what I've got to do now is get them lap back, get that grinded off, and then measure what kind of height we're going to cut these at, and then work out the crosspiece. There we go. Stick around. Both ground back and prepped. All the surfaces are prepared. That's ready to tack on the corner. And I reckon, because I've got to stand this, like I said, I've got to stand this up against the wall. So if that's sticking up miles like that, that's going to butt against the wall and cause me a storage issue. If I do it on its back, then these are still going to be sticking out from the wall, and I am definitely going to walk into them, probably with my face. So they only need to be quite short so that they still don't cause me any issues, and I can still do the next bit, which I'll show you in a minute. So I reckon for symmetry, just the height of that. So that's, what have we got? 10 inches. So I reckon 10 inches from there. Right, now being as that there abuts onto the trailer, it's 10 inches from there, which should give me what I'm searching for. Roughly. Okay. Ready to weld on. Is about as good as it gets. There we are. I think that's it. Favourite brush. Standard test. Right, show you what we got. And that's it really. It doesn't need to be gloriously seam welded. Not that I could do it anyway, but those tacks will hold it for sure. And it's got a fair old bit in the top which will hold it. And that's it. Okay, let's weld the other one on. Come in. Right, time for fine tuning. This is all good practice, of course, because at some point I will build a bike frame, albeit out of thicker tubing than this. This is good practice for notching, and you don't need special notching drums, which all the chopper builders will tell you to buy notching drums, which is like a little drum that fits perfectly in there, and yeah, you can just go zzz and you get a perfect curve. Just use a grinder and a lot of mess. Right, let's see if that works. Right, here we are. That's about right, isn't it, Pen?
Yeah, that's it.
About there, Drayton?
Yep.
Right, okay. Just got to lap all the chrome off this, otherwise it will just... So let's get this lapped up and ready to weld. Okay, that's not too shabby. So, bit pigeon crap today. Those are just spitting, but that's this tube again. It just spits and then just pops a hole in it. So you can't really do a lot but tack it and then grind it. Whereas when you're welding on thicker metal, as you can see, you can just put nice thick heavy tacks in. They would have all gone through if they'd been on this. But there it is. And that's the idea so far. Let's keep going. Okay. Next bit, this has got even more ridiculous. That is a serious compound notch. You got about 4 different angles there. Just notching, just putting the bottom over there. So it's inboard. And that, get it to focus, sits there. So that gives it extra strength. Obviously it could be a better notch, I could take more time over it, but if I was TIG welding it I'd need to, but I can't even MIG weld, as you can see. So, right, that's that one. Now, make the other one. Right, notched in, shaped in the bottom. Just going to bring them over about halfway, because this, down at this end, is brought in halfway, so they'll be straight and true. There we go. Notched in there. Could be a tighter notch, but then a little gap there. That'll puddle up nice. And then The other one's quite a compound notch, that. About 4 different shapes in it. All sits in kind of neatly in there. Do that one in a minute. Let's get the buzzer. Hold it in place and sting it, baby. Okay. And there we are, finished object. Kind of purpose of that is really anything I want to lash to it, or anything I want to secure into the trailer with a little bit more bracing, then that is it, because you can pick trailer up like that, obviously. And the other thing, I've got these, which extra poles. Now these are powder coated steel as well, but they're thin, so I need to get some different ones, perhaps a little bit of bar, but the idea is that in there. Now if ever I needed to carry anything tall, the idea is to not use this. This is just very thin tubing, but to use bar, or perhaps wooden bar, or perhaps something just thicker, dropped into there, that's a good brace. And even if I need to carry for the car, because I can use this for the van as well, even if I need to carry a fridge or something to the dump, you can stand it up in there and lash it to the front. But when I want to store it, they come out. And the great thing is, when I was finding these, I had a little look, and they are all curtain rails. And look what I found on the top of them. Now these, I don't know whether this is a step too far, but they don't fit at the minute. They just need a lug to go in between. But thinking rat and survival, that sort of thing, chains, something else to pin chains to as well, chains along the front and back. And these little doodads, they're kind of, you know, finials go on the end of your curtain poles, make your lounge look nice, and they only screw through, and they're very light, they don't weigh much. That's raw iron, it is quite thick, but this is only thin tube on the end. You could easily put a piece of that, I guess, in there and pin it through, and then a piece of that on top and pin it through, and you've got something quite smart. So that's good for the future. That's the final ratification. That's once I'm just doing all sorts, but at the minute I just have this brainwave, and I think that's a necessary end. That's something very useful. Also, I've gained a lot today. I also try and learn something from everything that I do, and today's been good fun learning to notch. Just the principle of notching these joints. Obviously my welding's not up to standard for a bike frame. I would just tack it and then take it to a guy who can TIG weld it, which is an agreement I've already got. But my job would be the notching. So cutting the notches at angles, if you remember putting this top frame on, notching those in, notching these tubes in as you saw on the grinder. These grinding wheels, incidentally, if you grind on the edge of them, on the corner, they go rounded. So then they become a great notching wheel, and they're only a few quid, these don't cost much. As you can see, that one, I've already ground the corner off it, so I just use that just into there at angles, and then notches around there nicely. So this is only 1mm thick. Once I start using proper motorcycle frame tube, which will be 7/8 or probably an inch I would imagine, and 3mm thick, then notching it and getting those notches right, and then just tack the frame together, take it off to be tigged so I can make my own bike frame. And this is part of it. So learning today, learning notching, teaching myself, and that's what I recommend anyone of you do. If you haven't done a job before, get stuck in, have a go at it. What's the worst that can happen? You can get it wrong. So there we go. Little frame, get back enough to sort of show it. Looking much better for a coat of paint as well. That looks half decent now. There we are, my little trailer coming on. So that's it really today. Thank you for watching episode 21 of Project Rat Trailer. This frame now gives me loads more potential to do different things, to take the decoration further. I can do all sorts. I'm already getting ideas that I can weld more stuff to this. Got to be careful, mine, because it ended up weighing 8 tons. It's got to come in at 145 kilos, which is 2/3 of the weight of the bike. So this tubing is very thin. This is the stuff that I made the actual toe frame from, the toe bracket that goes on the back of the bike, and it doesn't weigh a lot. The whole bracket only weighs 5 kilos. So this stuff isn't a big addition. I've got a good 25-30 feet more of this stuff in varied lengths, so I can do all sorts of fun things, and I'm already thinking, yeah, loads more fun. So there you go, the project rolls on. I'm not going to bring this to a finish until I'm completely satisfied with the work itself that I've done to the trailer, the fabrication that I've done to it. Once the fabrication is completely finished and I can do no more, then I will just get that decoration done. It won't be long, next half a dozen videos. I think we should possibly have this thing buttoned up. I hope, because I'm really looking forward to towing it down the road. There you go, thanks for tuning in and watching Delboy's Garage, episode 21, Project Rat Trailer. Ride safe as ever, and thanks for the comments, I appreciate it all. Thank you and ride safe, see you soon.